I still couldn't believe I had that cookies and cream ice cream.
You were really content with that.
And the girl asked me, do you want 1 scoop or 2 scoops? I said, go big or go home. So
If you're going to do wrong, right.
go big or go home. So
Do wrong, right.
I got that recorded on the audio.
good. The pre-show.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was like the office over there. I just knew I heard people.
You're discovering new things,
Like she was like, you should have saw the jacuzzi. I was like, well, I didn't know about all of this.
Yeah, she didn't know there was a jacuzzi downstairs.
I should have showed you the workout room. You need a key to get to, you need a key to get back up. So I'm sure the Rick D studio has jacuzzis and stuff now.
Rick D Studio is exactly just what it is. It's a studio. You can go in there and do your thing.
There's no after show patios. There's no.
It's none of these amenities. It's just in Burbank in a great centralized area. It's where a lot of the people who have radio show spots and they don't live in that city, those syndicated shows.
Yep.
They go to his studio and they record. That's why I see DL all the time.
Yep.
DL used the studio across from me, so often we see each other.
Yep.
And his engineers and his team. And Bill used to work in that studio too for the Tom Joyner show. It's like, see if you can find a ticket. Right.
I would feel bad though because I'm not going to be around this weekend, and then if
Oh,
you're.
I know. I don't know. I'll see how I feel. Because the thing is, I really want to get back home.
Wait, so you might actually stay?
Well, peer pressure is really good and better than all of yours. Like, he's like this, yo.
I mean, I honestly want you to too, but I'm just telling you.
Yo.
I'm just telling you, I got
Welcome to Miss.
I got personal family things going on this weekend, so I won't be around. So
I don't.
This is the thing. If I do stay.
she could take you to that party.
I could definitely take you to the party. You will have a blast.
No, your party's Saturday night.
Yeah. Are you talking about tonight?
They're talking about tonight. No, I'm definitely not staying till the week after. Like, I would feel really like.
Studio 110.live. We're back at it. Dirty Harry, the whole crew in the studio today. Everybody at headquarters working so hard here to make the show just straight popping on a Friday afternoon, man. I'm excited. I love Fridays. Who doesn't like Fridays? I think the only people that don't like Fridays are the people that have to work on the weekends. And you know what? If that's your job, if that's your business, if that's what you do to provide for yourself on the weekends, then you know what? Make it happen. Go out there and just keep on that grind. Oh, Kara, did you have fun last night on the Dirty Harry road trip tour?
I had a ball. You guys know how to welcome a girl to Seattle.
Well, I tried my best. We went to a legendary staple called the Ivers Salmon House.
Oh, that was really good.
Yep.
Yeah, I had a good time. The view was nice. I saw people kayaking. Were they training?
They were. That's the UW kayak team that you witnessed in progress. Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I was just like, oh my God, is that what they're doing right now?
Yep.
While I'm eating this wonderful
Well, it was all for
salmon
you.
sandwich.
It was all for you.
Well, you guys rocked it out for me. That was a nice kickoff.
You know, like when presidents from other countries come, their airplanes, the fire trucks put the hoses over the airplane. So that's the best I could do for you.
So in that regards, I got me a great Ivar salmon.
Ivers, you got
Ivers
yes.
salmon.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, that was a nice salmon sandwich that you had.
It was really good though.
It was very good.
And
yes.
that's like one of your landmarks here.
That's one of my go-to spots.
That's like our Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Well,
kind
not
of.
the same food, but when you go to LA, you have to go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle.
Different atmosphere, but same type of.
Yeah, the
niche,
atmosphere
yes.
is totally different.
Yes.
But let me tell you about Roscoe's. You never know who you may see in there.
I mean, you never know.
Like everyone.
My
rolls
guy
through
Snoop
Roscoe.
Dogg. My guy Snoop Dogg.
You'll see Snoop. You'll see not even just the locals. You just don't know who you'll see that's coming into town. You'll see any big star at Roscoe's.
Yep. So today we got a lot going on in the show. Let's give a couple shout outs before we kick off today's show with my buddy Jamie Adler live with us. We'll be right with you, Jamie, here in a few minutes. He's also from Los Angeles, so I'm excited.
Hey, Jamie.
I'm looking forward to.
Born and raised. What's going on, darling?
I'm good. I'm born and raised. I was just kind of like I got there and never left. But LA's been good to me. I love my LA folks.
So, Jamie, before we transition to you real quick, I just got to shout out a few of our guests on yesterday's show. Of course, the one and only Miss Okara Banks, who was up all night a couple nights ago just to prepare for this big show. Thank you again for being in the studio. We got you for a double trifecta.
Double dose. Yeah.
A double dose. So.
I had to see how they were popping in Seattle on Fridays.
Absolutely. So it's great to have you back here today. We had Dawn from Donna Matrix making stuff for Beyonce and Katy Perry and a bunch of other big time celebs. So she was in the studio. She brought Jinmo, her buddy, and her artist that she's working with. He's kicking off a U.S. tour, I think 33 cities right here in the Pacific Northwest, and hopefully I haven't forgotten anyone else. Shouting out all my guys, Jason and Jamal, the High Children, DJ Nasty Ness, Izzy Sanchez. We got my buddy Brad Brotherton from the Cadillac brand, owns the Cadillac, Brotherton Cadillac. You see his commercials all the time. Russell Wilson and a bunch of the Seahawks players repping those Cadillacs. We got a big show today. It's a Friday. I'm excited to get into the weekend. I wish you all a happy Easter. It's a big holiday weekend here for everybody celebrating the different holidays, Passover, Easter, everybody. So shout out to all you guys. And if we can get around to it today, okay, I know we weren't able to really touch on it yesterday, but we got some pretty large music news stories popping today. Nicki Minaj and Ariana Grande are in some hot water. And hopefully we'll have an opportunity to touch on that.
I think anything Nicki touches hot.
Yep.
Yeah, she is.
So let's kick off the show right now. Jamie, you got not only do you have your guy Dirty Harry, but you got Okara Banks. You got my producer Erica here, and let's get this kicked off. So welcome to the show, Jamie Adler.
Hey, Jamie.
What's going on, Harry? What's going on, everybody?
Nice to see you. It's been a little while since you've made the journey up here to the Pacific Northwest, but you're a legend in the music business, not only in Los Angeles but around the country.
Hey, thank you. I'm just a guy that's trying to bring showbiz to the world. Last time I saw you, I was up there
for Snoop Dogg.
It was December 8th. Or December 6th at the Paramount Theater.
Yep.
Sold out show. Snoop Dogg, my Puff Puff Pass tour.
Yep.
The biggest tour I've ever done to date.
Yep.
And that's the last time I saw you. I love Seattle, and it's an honor to be on your show. And you are one of the biggest personalities of all time out of Seattle,
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Coming from you, Jamie, I really appreciate that. And thank you for all that you've done for me throughout my career. Every time, whenever I need Snoop or Bone Thugs and Harmony or any of your artists.
Do you remember the story? You guys were doing the big Summer Jam radio show.
Yep.
Rick Ross was running late. He missed his first flight.
I remember. Sure.
I flew up there with my artist that I had at the time. I discovered this kid. He's the only artist that I've ever discovered and had a #1 hit with.
Yep.
And he goes by the name of Man.
Buzzin', of course. I love that song, Buzzin'.
No, but we had that #1 song up there at your station called Text.
Yep.
Hit me with the text.
Yep.
Showed up, and I'll never forget. Rick Ross was running late, and you guys had a 10-minute gap. And the only reason I went up there was to try to get Man on your guys' radio show, but you guys won't put him on the show. So I saw that 10-minute gap with Rick Ross being late. I said, I got Man here right now. And I went up to, I forgot what the lady's name was at the radio station.
There were a few.
And I said, I got Man here. Let's just go up there and do the one song. It was the #1 song on your radio station at the time, Text.
Yep.
But for some reason, we never got on the Summer Jam. Man, we went up there and we tore up the house. And that was the only station that ever supported that record was Seattle. It was literally #1 up there all summer. And we got to do the Summer Jam. And that was just me being a manager and doing my job. You know what? As a manager, you got to do whatever it takes But that day, I did get my client on stage at your guys' huge summer jam.
Oh, that's
Thank
what's
you for that.
up.
Just wanted-
Aw.
And
I
you know,
remembered that
yeah,
earlier.
and Jamie, and you can recall too part of that conversation that led up to that appearance with Man, because I mean Buzzin'. I mean I remember text, but obviously Buzzin' was my favorite, favorite song personally between the two. And I told you we're going to make it happen. And that's always the business that I've been in. If I'm feeling something, if I want to get behind it, I'm going to make it happen. And you and I have too good of a relationship to not help each other out for whatever it is. So.
Yeah, no, that was great. That's one of my big moments when I was managing for a while there. Yeah, but no. It's
Hey,
great to be here.
Jamie.
What's going on, guys? I got a lot going on. I see you guys got a lot going on too, huh?
Well, we do. Yes, we got a lot going on. I want to kick this off properly. I just want to let everybody know real quick that's just tuning back into the show. You're checking out Studio110.live. Follow us on Instagram, Studio110.live. Dirty Harry. We got our co-host today, Okara Banks, here from Los Angeles. So Jamie, maybe you and Okara, since you guys are probably right around the corner from each other, we'll have to meet up at some point in Los Angeles. She's a big fashion designer and stylist, and she's also got a podcast show down in Los Angeles.
Yeah, you should come check it out, Jamie. And I was going to say, do you still work with Snoop? I worked with Snoop and Martha, actually, at costume design.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was the costume designer for the Martha and Snoop's show last season.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we had a ball together.
Okara, you're invited to the compound anytime you're in LA. I'm right across the street from the Beverly Center.
Okay, that's what's up.
That's where we're at.
Yeah. Oh, that's what's up. But yeah, Snoop is a good guy. The whole team, like everybody. And then the last time I saw Snoop was doing upfronts and the whole crew.
There you go.
So yeah, that's my guy.
Jamie knows that, and I'll attest to this forever. My favorite live show is a Snoop Dogg, Daz, Corrupt, East Side show.
Oh, that's a good
Hands down.
show.
Hands
Yeah.
down. Right, Jamie?
That's real West Coast right there,
Yeah, absolutely. So you got a lot going on, Jamie. First off, I want to say congratulations and a big mazel tov to you on your beautiful new daughter, Lonnie Mae. Congratulations to you on that.
You mean this beautiful little girl right here that's making her first appearance on a podcast? Yes.
On a live podcast, yes. Studio110.live. Yep. Beautiful. You should be a proud father.
I am a proud dad. I've accomplished so much in my life, way more than I ever intended.
Oh, bless.
But nothing has ever meant more to me than the day my daughter was born. It doesn't matter how many amazing sold out tours and hits and celebrities. I don't care about any of that.
When it comes down to
I care
the
about my
real
little
of it,
baby
huh?
girl. I care about my daughter, my beautiful wife, and my family, and that's what happens. The day she came out, that's when my whole life changed, and it's exactly what people talk about when you hear those stories. Oh, you don't know what it's like until you have your own.
Oh.
Well, I'm living that dream right now, and it's really incredible. So
Congratulations, Jamie.
Congratulations,
That's
man.
beautiful.
Thank you. Very cool.
So you have a lot of things going on. I was speaking to your assistant just to get caught up. I mean, obviously, I know what's going on. You got a couple movie productions currently in the works.
My office manager, Nick.
Yep. Shout out to Nick. Yep. You got a few movie productions in the works. You've obviously got a few tours in the works.
Listen, Harry, I've been doing music for over 20 years.
Yep.
25 years, ever since I was 15 years old, and I booked my first show at the Whiskey A Go-Go on Sunset Boulevard. But I remember one time, one of my original mentors, a guy by the name of Todd Singerman, I met up with Todd. I'm 20 years old. I said, "Hey, Todd, I'm gonna start managing this one rock group, and I'm gonna be the agent for this other rock group, and I'm gonna go on auditions. I'm gonna be an actor as well." He shakes his head. He says, "You're ridiculous." He says, "You're never gonna succeed in life if that's your attitude." He says, "What you need to do is you need to pick one thing, a manager, agent, actor, whatever it may be, whatever you want and you have passion for, pick that one and go master it and go as big as you can in that one, and then you could open up whatever doors you want to. But first succeed at that one, pick one, and then go after the others."
Yep.
So you know what? After 20 years of mastering being the best possible agent and accomplishing everything I could have ever imagined accomplishing, it's time for me to expand my horizons, and now I'm moving into being a movie director, a movie producer, We're doing lots of things over here. It's unbelievable right now. The things I'm doing. My new company's called Foundation. We're doing film, TV, sports. We actually represent Richard Sherman. That's one of our clients over here is Richard Sherman, the great former Seattle. Is he still in Seattle?
He is not. He got traded. The Seahawks decided to part ways with him, and I know the 49ers picked him up for a deal, like you probably know, 3 years, up to $39 million. Up to.
Right.
So.
Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned him since he just left Seattle.
That's all right. That's all right. You know.
We got Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, cool.
So we're doing all their film and TV stuff. So it's really incredible, man. Like I'm very, very blessed. My older brother, we're working on his biopic. The Guns N' Roses will end up being the backdrop of the movie because it's not a biopic about Guns N' Roses.
And for everybody tuning in right now, Jamie is speaking to in reference to his brother Steven Adler, who's of course from the legendary, iconic group called Guns N' Roses. That is his brother.
Yeah, that's my older brother. So I manage my older brother. I've been managing him off and on all these years. So we're gonna do a biopic. It's gonna be called Adler, and there's gonna be major players involved in it. Major director, producers, the stars of the movie. It's gonna be a major studio movie. So you'll hear about that next year.
Hey Jamie, a quick question. I was wondering, who was the first person you ever managed? Was it your brother? When you first started in the business?
Yeah, I would say my brother for sure. My brother was definitely the first guy that I managed that was a celebrity.
Okay.
The first rapper that I ever managed, funny to say, is the Candyman.
Oh, wow, I do remember the Candyman.
Yep.
I met the Candyman in 1998.
Yes.
My nephew, Max Adler, who I haven't spoken to in over a year. That's a true story. He was doing telemarketing in Las Vegas, and he calls me up one day. He says, "You ever heard of the Candyman?" I said, "Yeah, of course. I love the Candyman. Ooh boy, I love you so.
Never ever gonna
let you go." Oh, yep.
Once I get my hands on
you. It melts in your mouth, not in
yeah.
your hand.
Oh my God, I haven't heard that in so long.
So he says, "Hey, the Candyman's working." Doing telemarketing with me right now.
Oh.
Now I'm 20 years, I'm like 21, 22 at the time. And I'm like, the Candyman's doing telemarketing. This guy was a huge rapper. He was nominated for American Music Award, all this stuff. I said, get me his number. Gave me his number. I gave him a call. The next day I flew out to Las Vegas to sit down with the Candyman. Now I've never worked with a rapper. I don't know any, I'm only 22 at the time, 21. I'm so green. I don't know what I'm doing. But I swear to God, a month later, I got him a record deal for $5,000 for Cleopatra Records. We did a remake of Knockin' Boots.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yep. I remember.
I booked my first tour with this guy, and that was my first.
That was your first coming out of the family tree. Like I'm officially a manager, and I have 2 clients. Yeah.
In the urban world.
That was awesome. So after that, did you have people coming after you since you took him out of telemarketing and on tour?
No one really cared about the Candyman, unfortunately. but listen, still to this day, I'm still the Candy. His name is John Wojcik, one of my dear friends. I love him so much.
There was a bigger purpose for you guys.
I have such a huge purpose on this planet, and that's why God put me on this planet, because I feel I'm probably the only person. And you could ask all my clients this. They'll back me up on this. I'm probably the only person in the world that could deal with my clients year after year, day after day, month after month, and keep them out on the road and keep
them working.
For some reason, and I'm also dysfunctional. My family's dysfunctional, so of course God would bring dysfunctional artists into my life. So it's just unbelievably incredible that we all know how to work hand in hand. I've represented DJ Quick over 11 years.
Do you still manage DJ Quick right now?
Yeah, 100%. When I had DJ Quick, he was literally only doing 4 to 6 shows a year.
Whoa.
He was doing House of Blues show in LA, 2 House of Blues show in San Diego, a couple other, and that's it. When I got Quick, the first year we did 50 shows. Now the guy does, 80 to 100 shows a year. But
huge.
That is huge.
When I got with DJ Quick, he had a whole on it. In the last 11 years, I'm the last man standing in his team.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow.
I'm the only one that knows how to
Of course.
actually how to deal with a real artist. You understand? Like you have to know how to deal with them on the good days and on their bad days. But see, growing up, having my older brother, who's the biggest rock star in the world at one point, I'm 14, 15, 16. I'm seeing all of this. So I'm starting to learn at a very young age how to deal with different personalities, dealing with artists, dealing with humans.
It's a gift too to deal with artists day to day, and
to me, it's like breathing air. I do it in my sleep. I love it, but I also was blessed to have grown up in that world. I didn't go to college to learn how to do what I do. As I said in this interview recently, I was born to do what I do.
You were.
That's
you
real.
were.
You have a really gifted patience too.
Absolutely.
And understanding.
I have a rock of patience. Listen, I've been representing Bone Thugs and Harmony literally for 18 years.
Whoa.
Still to this day. Okay.
I remember when you signed on with them, and that was, you say 18 years. I thought it was a little longer, but I remember way back in the day, Jamie. I don't even, maybe it wasn't even an official at that point, but you and I remember we did a show with them in the University District up here in the Seattle area. I don't remember what.
Yeah, that was probably right when I first got with those guys.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Like it's been so many years. I honestly feel now, and I'm independent. I've been independent my entire career. But I swear, I got to own some sort of a world record of being able to hold on to the same rap artist for longer than
a decade. I mean, good grief.
Yeah.
And the fact that they stayed with you, the fact that they even stayed with you and didn't feel like they needed to jump ship, so that meant you did right by them, and they felt like someone was constantly fighting for them and their fairness. And when the roller coaster ride happened, they knew they had someone in their corner to continue to keep them out there. So that's a big testament to you, even saying that they stuck with you. You stuck with them.
Right. And with that being said, Jamie, like, last time I checked, when Snoop Dogg is calling you saying, hey, I want you to be handling my touring for a show that, that's going to sell out Paramount Theater up here, an iconic destination for a lot of Broadway musicals, and big time artists come through there. I mean, that's big props to you, Jamie. So, you're not a rookie in the game, when Snoop Dogg and these types of artists are reaching out to you. And speaking of Snoop Dogg, you've got the Great American Smokeout tour. I know tickets go on sale this Sunday for your big tour at Cypress Hill, Snoop Dogg, Wu-Tang, Bone Thugs.
Oh, that's a good show.
Let's
are
talk
you guys
about
gonna
that.
be in LA?
Yeah, it's going to be over at the Citizen Bank Arena in Ontario, California, which is about an hour, south of Los Angeles, east of LA. But it's an incredible lineup. I put that thing together. My partner Bobby D and Jimmy. I take full responsibility for coming up with the name. We did that within my office, within my whole crew over here. I think it was one of my guys, Mike Shahade, that actually came up with the Great American Smokeout. We put all these names in a basket, and that's the one that we picked. And I think that's an incredible brand, and we're going to really, really do something. And this is the first interview that's ever been discussed about the Great American Smokeout.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. Thank you for that opportunity.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
You know what else would be really cool is when you guys roll through Seattle, y'all come roll through Dirty Harry's podcast with a few of the fellas or Snoop and talk about it.
That'd be great. That'd be great, Jamie.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be huge. Yeah, we should. I mean, it'd be nice to get some of these tours, and I know obviously, California's market in terms of demographics and size and proximity issues is obviously different from a Washington market where Studio 110.live broadcasts Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time. But it would be good, Jamie, you and I have been talking about this for years, to get these shows up here. We can give away some tickets on the show. We can get the artists to come through the studio.
Well,
and
I want to take this tour all over the world. That's the whole plan. We're going to kick it off with this first show, and we'll see what happens after that. But I got a big summer ahead of me, and we're also launching the second annual Summertime in the LBC. We had it last year with Wu-Tang, 50 Cent,
Ooh, so good.
IG. We sold 20,000 tickets over at the Queen Mary. We're doing part 2 this year, July 7th. We haven't even announced that yet. That's probably going to get announced next week or the week after.
Well, you got the exclusive right now, Dirty Harry.
Yeah, that's going to be another announcement.
I'm like, okay, I will be calling the compound for a couple of those tickets.
That's what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to say earlier is my original mentor said, hey, go master one thing. So I mastered the agent. So now I'm out here. I'm putting on our own branded events. So I'm also a concert promoter, concert producer now. So I'm doing that. We're managing, we're booking, doing movies. Like this is what you're supposed to do in life. You're supposed to have growth.
And I feel like reinvent the wheel, reinvent yourself. And then, like you said, you mastered that one thing. So who says after that you can't do all the other things and walking in your purpose? Yeah. Yeah, so that's how you stay in it. You keep reinventing, you keep creating, and you take what you know and you push it.
It all comes down to God. All glory goes to God. That's how I roll every single day in my life. One foot in front of the other. That's all I got to do is show up. As long as I'm a good human, I got a lot of integrity, I'm honest, I got a lot of faith, I'm going to succeed, I'm going to win.
You are.
And that's genuinely the key to my success.
And that's why you've been winning in this industry. I mean, who runs across that in the music industry and in promoting to have real integrity and, to be honest and really walk with God?
I've been doing this for literally over 20 years. I'm Jamie Adler. My career is I'm a music manager, agent, concert producer, but I'm really a husband, a father, son, a brother, and a believer.
There you go. And we touched on that.
That's what's up.
And Jamie, we kind of touched on that yesterday, just in terms of how people evolve in their inner selves and in their careers. And, I credit God every day, every morning I credit God. And like you said, I mean, it's just, when you're an honest person and you have good, good standards and good morals and good values, and you want to help people out, and you'll never be distracted from that. Jamie, we have a lot of up and coming artists watching and listening right now at Studio110.live. Shouting out Marquis. We had the High Children in here yesterday, Jason and Jamal from the High Children. What would be one of your recommendations from a very successful music manager like yourself, Jamie, with Man and with Bone Thugs and all these other artists that you've had the opportunity to work with? What's that piece of initial critical advice that you would give to an up-and-coming artist to be able to either stay independent or to be able to put out something that you'll be able to recognize and potentially get on a national tour?
Go to school. That's my best advice. Go to college, okay? Run. No, listen. Here's what I gotta say about that.
Run.
It's no longer about talent. It's about a gimmick, and it's about social media.
It's about marketing.
And it's about eyeballs, and that's really what this game has turned into. Like Harry, when we were coming up, it was all about talent. It was like Nas. I think like right now, if Nas came out right now, no one would give a shit about Nas. Yeah. The guy's just like, no one cares about incredible, MCs. No one cares about that anymore. What we care about is if you have a little in front of your name and you have tattoos on your face and you're assaulting women. Okay, and I'm sorry, but that's why I'm not representing these new artists right now. I just saw a video come out yesterday with this Extension kid, this Triple X kid. He's talking about he's the best, and now there's that video of him hitting this girl in the head.
Bad, horrible.
That's karma catching up to him.
Yeah.
So you could be on top for a week or two, but the longevity is never going to be there if you're hurting women, if you're assaulting people, if you're talking badly about anyone. I feel so sorry for this Tekashi 6ix9ine kid.
I was just about to ask you about him. I just found out about who he was on the Breakfast Club.
On Planner. Okay, like someone's gonna shoot this guy. I'm scared for his life.
That's what they were talking about. Yeah.
He's talking too much reckless stuff, and it's all a facade. Because my boy just had him do a show for him in Texas last week. Come to find out, he rolls with 5 people.
Yeah, he literally. I just heard this interview. I saw him.
He's not rolling with any gangbangers.
No one.
He's not rolling with no guns. He's just this. He's like my boy said. He's the nicest kid he's ever met. Such a nice, sweet boy. So him on social media, he's talking all this reckless stuff. It's all fake. He's fugazi as fuck, this guy. So he better watch it before the streets do attack him, because you can't play at the streets.
Well,
So you're asking me a question for these new artists right now.
Yeah.
You have to figure out how to get popular on Instagram. Don't try. There's no more record deals out there.
No.
unless you have 3 million followers on Instagram or 150 Spotify plays. You got to get streaming and you got to get your social media cracking.
Yep.
If you don't have any of that going on, no one cares.
Yeah.
You have to build.
They
your
want
own
you to be self-made already, and that's why he's popping.
Yeah.
But he is talking
So
reckless.
You need to build your own following nowadays. That's just really what this industry's.
Yeah,
come
one
down
time
to.
they would put the work into you and make you a star. Now they're like, okay, so why aren't you not a star? And then we'll take you on.
Man, you know what I care about right now? I got meetings all day in my office with social influencers. That's what I have.
Yeah,
my
that's the
first
way.
guy I met had 1.9 million followers the other day. Now I'm like, listen, I'm up to guys with 5 million followers coming to my office. I'm like,
It's-
if you have, it's crazy.
It is
But
crazy.
That's what matters. That's what matters.
And
now.
it really does, and it pushes the envelope. I think when you are also creating a platform or introducing what you're doing to everyone else, because what I'll say, what you say, and all that. I have a podcast in LA called Style Lounge, and I've had like fashion influencers who have 1.5 million followers. My girl Tammy Roman, who has 1.5 million followers, or 2.2 million followers, and it really. There's knowledge, there's information they have, but they haven't done anything that, not saying they're not smart and they're not brilliant people,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying they haven't done what people have done
you know what
once
she's
upon a
saying?
time.
They haven't earned their stripes. That's what she's saying. They haven't earned no
Well,
stripes.
I won't say that because I you know what, I believe God touches people to do stuff and do things, so I don't want to take that away from them. But I do understand the work and how people would do things, and I'm not saying it didn't work, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're just tuning in again, I want to come back and roll through this real quick. Studio110.live, Dirty Harry. Check us out Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time. Follow us on Instagram at Studio110.live. We've got our first special guest via phone here, via Skype. Jamie Adler, longtime friend from the music business, and I definitely do call him a friend. I can call him about anything day or night, and he'd pick up the phone for me. He's got a lot going on. He's got his Great American Smokeout Tour, Snoop Dogg, Cypress Hill, Bone Thugs, Wu-Tang. He's got movies in the works. His brother, Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses. Man, it's a pleasure and honor to have you, and I want this to be a repeated pattern. And I know you got a lot of upcoming, special announcements. Maybe we can leverage the show here, Jamie, to make some of those special announcements right here at Studio110.live.
I'm down. And also follow me at Worldwide Adler on Instagram, at Worldwide Adler.
Adler, Adler.
Yes.
I'm trying to get to 3,000 followers today.
Oh,
Like,
you have to do it, yo! Come on,
Come on.
come
gotta
on.
Any shout outs, Jamie, you want to give to anybody up here?
get- Shout out to my beautiful daughter, Lonnie Mae.
Yep.
Shout out Bone Thugs and Harmony. We're doing over 140 shows in 2018. It's my #1 hip hop rap group of all time is Bone Thugs and Harmony, my favorite group ever. I'm blessed and honored to be representing them. Let me shout out my original hip hop mentor that started me in this game, the We Workin' master himself, Steve Lobel.
I just was going to ask you about Steve. How's Steve doing? I talked to him. I talked to him via text, but we're supposed to chat on Monday, and he's also going to be a guest on the show. Please tell Steve.
Steve Lobel, he's an artist now. He's Steve Lobel, famous. We Workin' has more Instagram followers than most.
Yep.
Yeah. Tell Steve to shout you out. That'll help push up your numbers past to 3,000 a day.
I followed you.
Celebrity.
And please tell Snoop Dogg. Please tell Snoop Dogg I said hello. I want to get Snoop on the show, Jamie. I want to get Snoop on the show. It'd be a good platform for him to say hello to all the fans up here at Studio110.live and my brand new live podcast show.
Hey, I want to shout out to my office manager. We call him Big Dick Nick.
What a name! Wow.
That's a name.
Is that?
Say we called him that before
Big
the whole
Dick.
Me Too movement showed up. So since that whole Me Too thing, we stopped calling him that. But I apologize for saying that, Nick.
He's like, nah.
That's all right. Hey, you never know what happens on a live radio show. So I don't know if what I just told you a few minutes ago flew over, and I could say that to you because that's the type of relationship I have with you, JB. But like I said, please tell, and I'm going to reach out to him too. But I want to get Big Snoop Dogg on the show. That'd be great.
Yeah, no, of course.
We'll get Snoop on the show, and much continued success, Jamie. For today and for the future, with you and your beautiful family. And I know you're traveling a lot back and forth from Australia, so you're a great family guy for doing that. And
I like your producer. It's very pretty.
Well, you'll have to come up here. You'll have to come up here, and we'll all have to hang out and do dinner or do lunch. You know.
I think you guys out for dinner. Okay, you guys come backstage on my show. Okay, thank you so much for having me on the show right now.
Thank you, Jamie. We'll talk soon. Have a wonderful weekend.
Nice talking to you.
Bye, bye, guys. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, Jamie. Bye, bye. Jamie Adler live from Los Angeles at his compound down there. Just you heard him. You heard him, Okera. He's doing some big things, and he's just never, forgotten where he's come from. Like you mentioned Steve Lobel. Like Steve Lobel to Jamie Adler is DJ Nasty Nest to me for what Nasty Nest did for Sir Mix-a-Lot's career and for what he did for my career. So It just goes back, and for you too. Like I'm sure there's that one. I'm sure there's that one person that that you'll never forget that opened the door for you on the fashion side and on the styling side.
More so getting me into television. There's
into
that
television.
one person.
Okay.
Yeah, getting me into television film. There's that one person.
And who was that one person?
Her name is Marilyn Gill.
There you go.
Yeah, like she was the first person who gave me the opportunity to work as an assistant stylist on a television show when no one else. And I met her. You know what I'll say is you never know who's watching you.
Yeah.
I was in LA like less than a year, didn't know anyone, found a job just by opening my mouth, and was working with this company. Very quickly, the woman allowed me to run her company. That happened multiple times. And I did not know this woman was the head executive producer, like the executive producer who ran the show, who people answered to. And I remember finding out what Los Angeles was. When the show's down, you don't have any work.
Right.
And I was like, oh, wait, who does that? So I was like, well, I need to find another job. I didn't know that. And they were like, well, you're going to wait till the show's over? I'm like, well, no, because are you going to give me a couple of extra weeks while I look for a job? No, I didn't know this was feast or famine because I didn't know the movement in Los Angeles. And so I wasn't working in the business yet, but I was doing work in production. And I remember telling everybody at it was the Roseanne show, when Roseanne had her talk show.
Yep.
And I remember telling everybody, okay, bye. And I remember this woman coming up to me. She was like, where are you going? And I'm about to go work for this really boutique but high-end product placement agency for film and television. Mm-hmm. And she was like, what do you want to do? And I told her my background. I told her how long I was in LA. And I told her, she didn't, I was like, I don't know many people. And I gave her my number. Year later, out of the blue, she had the woman who was the costumer for the show, talk show. This woman called me. She's like, I got your name from Marilyn Gill. And she was like, she wants me to hire you. And that was it. Like,
there you go.
And she never saw, all she saw was me working in my work. And till this day, we just reconnected. We never lost touch, but we just literally reconnected. And she's back in my life, like, yeah. So.
And that's so cool. And that's like how it's been for me with, Nasty Nest is I've always kept in contact with him. And I talk to him multiple times a week. And we just, when you know someone so well and you just, just nothing feels better than having that type of inner core relationship with that, figure that opened that door, that paved that way to get you from literally A to
B. Well, all she did was she let me get my foot in the door. And after that, it was over. So she saw me again on television. She saw me when I was December.
Okay.
And she started crying and come to find out on the show where I was the style expert for, there's a show called Sister Circle.
Okay.
That I'm we've talked, I'm regularly on there as one of their style experts.
You were just in Atlanta for that, right?
Yeah, I did it again for spring, talking about spring fashions and
Yep.
highlighting my clothing line.
Yep.
And she in December, I did it right before Christmas. So I had someone who referred me to the show, went and did the show. Come to find out, the producer's her son.
Wow.
The producer I was communicating with. Haven't seen her son since he was like 10. He's still young, but I haven't seen him.
Yeah.
So when he was like, my mom is Marilyn Gill, I went, oh my God, you're my brother. That's my mother. Your mother's. She literally was like, oh my God, that's my baby.
There you go.
And she was ecstatic because she really was the first person who gave me my break when no one would. And that was it. And now we're having a discussion about other things and doing so many more things. And she's like, I said, it's crazy. You're back in my life when I'm about to make these other strides. And she was like, you go hard. And I'm like, that's how you saw me the first time. Now you saw me again.
Yeah, and I don't think yesterday I really touched on, because our stories are very similar.
Yeah.
Like our stories are very similar. Like with Nasty Nest, he had a large, music management, promo company based here in Seattle before he moved it to Los Angeles. And I was just a hungry kid in high school, learning, wanting to learn the music business. And I did whatever it took. I knocked on that door after school, and I opened up boxes, and I organized the office, and I answered phone calls and took messages.
That's what Jamie's talking about, that work.
Yep.
Like, you know, that grinding, starting from the bottom, and now we're here. Like,
Right. Yep.
That's exactly it. That's how I got into, before I got into film and television. I started in New York as an assistant assistant editor as an intern for Marabella Magazine. I think they've since brought Marabella Magazine back, but I'm talking about the one like back in '98.
Okay.
And I just remembered when I got in the door, this is how I found out a little bit about my value. I worked my butt off, and I remember how it was very The Devil Who Wears Prada like moment. That's exactly what it was. I'll never forget when a woman looked at me and told me, you look great. Mm-hmm. And I tried to wear the outfit every day. So anyhow, I just remembered my foot being in the door there. And I remember when I walked away to go away for the holidays, when I came back to do like that last month, they were like, oh my God, we didn't know what to do without you. Before then, they treated me like whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then after that, they offered me jobs.
There you go.
So you just
gotta keep your foot, pounded to the ground. People say no. You gotta reverse that psychology and that communication to the yes business, and you gotta be relentless. You just gotta be relentless and not take no's for answers. And
maybe that wasn't the door for you. That no meant that wasn't the door for you. It doesn't feel good, but it probably wasn't the door for you.
And I think for all the listeners right now, we have a lot of artists, up and coming artists, and I touched with Jamie Adler about this a few minutes ago, that are really, they're hungry. And Jamie said it the best, and I've said it the best, I've said it the best, Jamie said it the best, that I think a lot of artists today think like that the only proper channel to be successful is to get signed to a label. The business has changed.
Oh, completely.
The business has changed, and being signed to a label is not the way it was back in the day. Like we see the big time success ratio behind Macklemore. Macklemore's independent. He did 2 sold out shows here at Key Arena, which is a large arena here associated with the Seattle Center. And he's connected on a smaller frame with Warner Brothers, but it's not a large kind of like iconic old school Def Jam record deal like they did back in the day.
Yeah, that 30-60. What is it? What's those deals that they would give out? What's those deals?
Back in the day for Def Jam, they would do, sometimes they would do kind of the 30-60. And, back when they did the 30-60s back in those days, like, you didn't have the merch to really have the conversations about, or the downloads or the ringtones. Or
you didn't even have any, you'd say so about how they were going to package you.
Yep. And now they just take such high percentages where you're left with some, but not much, just because they see it now as these A&R guys signing these talents, and from a Universal or Def Jam or Columbia or any of these labels, they're happy with just one hit. Mm-hmm. They're just happy with one hit. They're like, the business in terms of putting out an album and evolving that artist onto a national tour or an international tour is just not really happening right now in the music business.
Well, you know what I heard? Have you ever heard Cardi B's story? That's a true chick who grind and worked really hard.
Yeah.
And really, there's a testament to social media, because she always was rapping. Yes, she was a dancer.
Yep.
That was part of her grind.
Mm-hmm.
She saved up $200,000. People didn't know that.
Yep.
Before, what's it called? The television show, the reality show, Hip Hop. Wait. What's it called? Love and Hip Hop.
Love and Hip Hop?
Love and Hip Hop.
Yep.
I think she was in Love and Hip Hop in New York. She got on the show. They came after her because she had so many followers. She was still dancing at the time.
Yep.
But she had raised her money and she was putting out music.
Yep.
She said that people think this is easy, and I just popped up. She was like, I had $200,000 and I spent all my money down to $20,000. And she said she went and knocked on DJ Envy door. I was like, I need you to play my song.
And it happened.
Like, so folks don't know, like, I even followed her before she was on a TV show.
Yep.
When she would just be like, oh my God, I can't believe they want to give me this free, expensive scooter. She was in the Bronx on the streets just still grinding.
Just
but the thing
hustling,
is,
doing what you did.
she had a talent, and she really had a plan.
Yep. And you know, we've seen that with Rihanna. We saw that obviously with Cardi B, and you know, I think one of my
Rihanna
favorite.
got signed though.
It was a similar introduction. It was a similar platform for Rihanna and Cardi B. They were both discovered ultimately in the club, but you know, someone that really was and kind of wasn't was Lady Gaga with Akon. That was also an interesting you know, introduction, and you know, just Akon knew when he saw Lady Gaga's talent. He knew like that's what took him, you know, literally from A to Z. I mean, honestly, I mean that's what
they found a real artist.
They found a real artist that, you know, is iconic and that will sell out arenas internationally. You know, and it wasn't that long after that happened that continued to happen. So let's kind of transition here into the show, into fashion. What do you? We talked yesterday about the outfit you were wearing. Let's talk about what you're wearing today. I like the vest.
I'm wearing a little PRPS today. Shout out to PRPS for the nice ripped vest. Jean, the ripped jean vest, and I added a little rhinestone, just a little accessory out of my closet. And,
I like that.
And I'm always kind of based in OTG Essentials. I'm wearing one of my pieces today called the On the Go Girl because I've literally been on the go. You want me to stand up? Let me stand up for you.
Yeah, stand up so everybody can see it here on camera. Now, the skirt that you're wearing, can that be purchased right now on the website?
This can be purchased in camouflage and black right now. The blue will be out very soon, probably in the next week.
So this is all about product placement. You're wearing it before it comes out. You're modeling it.
I am. You know, I had a model. It's already, if you go to OTG_Essentials on IG, you'll see I have a model wearing it.
Okay.
So blue. Are you trying to get a picture?
Yeah, we're getting pictures. We're getting pictures here live on there. The PRPS vest.
PRPS. I wear a lot of PRPS. I've put a lot of PRPS on my clients. I've been a fan of PRPS like well over 10 years, if not more. I always loved the brand. Yeah, it's just fly. So they send me goods.
Yep.
You know, and they send me goods because I have. You know, I think they've been happy with what I've done when they sent product to my clients. Yep. You know, so yeah, I literally just saw them. And what I'll tend to do sometimes, because I love my collection, I think it's like one of the best bases and on-the-go pieces to put on, OTG Essentials. But I also like other designers, and I have friends who design amazing pieces, and I like to, you know, wear them as well. So if there's a way I can, if I can intermingle them, and you know, because I have that stylist flair, I'll mix and mingle the pieces together.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's definitely what it's about, and it's all about collaboration. I know there's no real better feeling than, you know, coming home or waking up in the morning and, you know, seeing that box on the doorstep. Shout out to my guy Reggie with the Jordan brand down in Beaverton, Oregon with Nike. He always, similar to your relationship with PRPS. I mean, you know the name of the game. I reach out to Reggie's crew down there at the Jordan brand, and if I need shoes or something,
I need some Jordans.
They always take care of me. Like Reggie just isn't satisfied with just sending me shoes. Like I have to get the whole sweatsuits and the wool jackets with the leather sleeves.
That's love, though.
We
appreciate that love, especially when you really like the brand. You don't have to pretend like it's exciting. And I'm very fortunate. I get a lot of cool products. I get a lot of people who want to give me product. It's just, even when I'm not, and I don't ever expect it, but it's always just a nice gesture. And in return, I understand product placement.
Yeah.
So I understand that, you know, if they feel like you have some type of influence, or, you know, they like you or whatever, you know, they'll send you some pieces. So there it is.
And yesterday on the show, I'm sure you remember, we were talking about leather pieces, and you said you liked, you know, leather kind of shirt jacket styles, you know, the John Varvatos and that.
And you're wearing John Varvatos today?
Yes, I am. And I wore this specially for you. I wore this specially for you because we were talking about it on the show yesterday. I said, you know what, I got to wear something that's going to put a smile on her face at 8:30 this morning.
He thought about his look. He's been thinking about, I feel like everybody's been thinking about their wardrobe before they walk in here.
Well, yeah, we got an expert in here. Why wouldn't we? You know.
Well, everyone looks beautiful. I love what Erica has on. And her boots, her really cute vintage boots that she found and copped yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I should have went with her, but I was too busy out in these Seattle streets.
And let's talk about the Seattle streets. So what was your favorite part of, because we covered a lot last night. You know, we covered eating salmon burgers to going to the sugar factory to, we had like a whole road trip.
We did.
What was your favorite part of the night? Or, you know, and then we'll
I don't know. I just enjoyed the whole night. Like, Because I didn't come with any expectations. I've never been to Seattle. I don't know Seattle's nightlife. I don't know the restaurants. I know Seattle, Washington. Like the only real thing I ever really knew about Seattle that was connected to me is I had an ex-boyfriend in college who used to play basketball for Washington University.
The Huskies.
Yeah, and he ended up at the college I went to, and we met as a transfer student. That was it.
I thought you were going to say it rains every single
Well,
day.
I've heard that conversation.
And since you've been up here, has it rained once?
It has not rained. I came on the right week, I think. But it drizzled yesterday.
Well, that doesn't count as a Seattle rain.
It drizzled, but no, the weather's been really good to me. It's not freezing, but it's your winter going to spring weather ish kind of going on. But I had a good time. Like the city's beautiful. I mean, I had no idea. And other than it rained a lot, I heard that, sometimes people can get, a little sad. So I was like, maybe they should start having more tanning beds.
So speaking of that, whenever my friends hit me up and they say, they're a little depressed or having issues, I say, just make it easy on yourself and go buy one of those sunlight lamps and put them all over your house. And then what do you know? They start plugging things into the wall and then they go from sad to happy.
Well, they need the vitamin D.
Right.
The vitamin D, they need the sun. Buy lots of sunflowers. And if you can, paint one of your walls yellow. I promise you'll be happy.
There you go. And that's coming from O'Kara Banks.
Yellow's a very happy color. Have you ever had someone bring sunflowers and you're like, oh my God, those are so beautiful?
I can't say I have, no.
Okay, now watch. Someone bring in some sunflowers, surprisingly, to Dirty Harry and watch his, and you're going to be like, oh my God, his eyes are going to get really big.
Well, they can do that all day. I can't guarantee that I'm going to eat them because I'm kind of funky like that. But
you don't have to eat sunflowers; they're flowers, not sunflowers.
I thought you were talking about sunflower seeds.
No, you're sunflowers.
Oh, an actual flower. Oh, okay. I thought because
he's talking about food. I'm talking about plants.
There you go. Completely.
He was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get happy about eating sunflower seeds. I don't know.
Maybe that does make people happy.
Yeah, that's why I said paint your wall yellow.
Yeah.
Get some sunflowers.
Yeah.
You know what? And for those, maybe you do a really cool mural of the ocean or something. But it is the vitamin D, the lack of the sun.
Do you miss the palm trees? Do you miss the ocean? Do you miss?
Well, you guys have wonderful water here. I grew up in Charleston, so I really grew up thinking every place is supposed to have some type of water around it. So Seattle. I mean, I've been the most beautiful views. Here in Bellevue, the view is gorgeous.
Mount Rainier, the Cascades, Lake Washington, Lake Union.
Yep. Beautiful.
Yep.
So, the one thing that felt good is that the water was here.
Yep.
That's always a number one, feel good for me because those negative ions, I think, keep things for me kind of cool. But I like Seattle. Look, it's a transition from LA.
It is.
LA is very quick thinking, quick, energetic mind.
It is.
Even if people are moving at a steady pace, there's just an energy of always being on. Mm-hmm. So I like Seattle.
Well, it's been great to have you up here. Well, maybe we'll be able to have you lengthen your trip, lengthen your stay.
Well, we'll see.
Unfortunately, I don't want to feel bad if you do that because I've got other priorities I have to attend to tonight. But if you do stay here, I know that everybody here at Studio 110 will take good care of you.
They will. The team at Studio. Big up to the team at Studio 110. First of all, you guys have been so gracious. Everyone has, consistent. I mean, thank you. Just thank you for inviting me. Thank you for having me. But thank you for the treatment and just making me feel very welcome. So
absolutely.
I don't know. They're tugging on me. I'm really thinking about it. Pierre really got me.
Well, you gotta go out.
So we'll see. I got Erica and Pierre and Julianne. I mean, you guys, y'all work together as a group and trying to just get somebody here. I was like, I never felt the peer pressure, and I don't really cave into peer pressure.
Well, I'm sorry I can't be added into the list of trying to have you stay longer with us.
Well, you got me here. So
I
you did the big job. He did the biggest first part, and the communication with that was like love. So you got me here.
Thank you.
So you did the hard work.
I did, and like I said,
they're doing the maintaining, but I had a great. You kicked off a great night last night. I mean, the Sugar Factory. What's that Italian restaurant we went to last night? That was
Mama Molina's.
Oh my God, it's so delicious.
Yep.
Shout out to Cristiano. Cristiano.
Shout out to Cristiano. If you want some good Italian food, that is your guy.
He knows. He definitely
He knows.
He knows how to entertain.
He does.
And he's one of those types of guys that when you go out to eat with him, like you don't even bother looking at the menu.
You don't?
Because he knows exactly what he wants on that table, and you just go with the flow.
And let me tell you something, what you don't know. I don't let anybody order for me because I'm a very savory flavor tasting herbs. I know what I want. But something said, let him go for it. But shout out to Cristiano. That's what our Gemini twins do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And I don't really follow horoscopes too much, but I don't know how Geminis and Virgos, I don't know if they mesh up or if they're enemies or, what it is.
You know what? I have quite a bit of Virgos around me. Love. We're very cerebral. We're ran by the same planet, Mercury. And I just think I don't have any.
Do I resemble a Virgo? You probably know more about it than I do. We talk.
Resemble? I will tell you this. I could tell how you would think and how you move and how I know your focus because my rise is Virgo. So I know we're like constantly trying to, there's a little OCD in there, trying to figure it out.
I am very organized, yes.
Yeah, and I'm very organized. So when you said you were a Virgo, and I went, that makes the perfect sense. Are you a Virgo too?
No, can you guess what I am?
What are you?
Oh no, she's giving me summer vibe. I'm Libra, Cancer.
A Pisces.
Yes!
You're a Pisces? See, and the thing is, me and Erica haven't, talked, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
You're a Pisces? When's your birthday?
February 21st.
Oh, my mom's the February 27th. And my brother's the March 13th. Yeah,
So
I grew up around
Pisces.
Pisces.
I know our next guest is probably listening to the show right now, and he's probably making his way close to Studio 110.live's headquarters here, where we broadcast from. You'll enjoy meeting him. He's also a dear friend. His name is Brad Brotherton. He owns Brotherton Cadillac, very successful, probably Cadillac's number one dealership.
Now I need a Cadillac to drive while I'm here.
Yep.
Tell me about it.
Another number one Cadillac dealership up here in the state of Washington, and he's done very well. He's got a great staff, and most of all the professional players do live commercials with him and his staff there. So we'll be talking to him today about just kind of the rollout campaigns for the new Cadillacs going into from 18 to 19, new technology. Cadillac is always usually first out of the gate for new technology, and especially on their Escalades and on their.
I've always loved their Escalades. Do you know that The Rock just bought his dad a Cadillac, like a top-of-the-line Cadillac truck?
I did not know.
Yeah, like it was his birthday. I follow The Rock on social media, and his dad must have had this really big surgery, and he went looking at cars, and The Rock posted that he had bought his dad this big, like beautiful SUV truck, and it was a Cadillac. I was like, one thing about the OGs, they still like their Cadillacs.
And I think the Platinum editions, now they have not only the Platinum, but they have the, what's the other name associated with the model, but they're well over, I think they're like in the 90,000s. I mean, they're really up there.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they have kept their quality value. Like
They have.
OGs and even some newer people still want that Cadillac, especially when they had that Cadillac sports car.
Yep.
I think they still have it. But the two-seater, the Cadillac sports car?
I think is it the CTS, if I'm not?
I think so. One of my friends had it. That's how I even knew it's beautiful car.
Yep.
So yeah, I can't wait to meet this guy with the wonderful this business.
He's got,
Cadillacs he
because
has. He sounds like he's the man.
I wanted the show to kind of evolve into kind of some car segments and talking about just, the whole kind of automotive scene.
Well, that's huge. That's lifestyle.
Yep.
You can't talk about fashion art and not talk about cars. That's one of the investments, one of the things. Everybody talks about it. Look, partnering ship, that's just lifestyle. So you should totally have that on. You can't think of any musician or rapper or anyone who comes in there who does not have like maybe some toys, which is their cars.
There you go. Speaking of Easter on Sunday, I know Studio 110's employees here and group won't be able to probably keep you for the whole weekend.
No.
But with that being said, what are your Easter plans when you land at LAX?
You know what? On Resurrection Sunday, I really keep it low.
Okay.
I'll do the beach. I'll go probably hang out with friends. I'll probably go hang out with one of my really dear friends and her daughter because I don't get a chance to do that.
Sure.
Sometimes it's lunch, dinner with friends, or, I keep it real chill.
Yep.
I keep it like it's one of my days. For me, when people go, hey, are you going to church? I'm like, when I was old enough to not have to put on anything pink, fluffy, or ruffles on a Sunday, I quickly omitted that out of my schedule. Like when I was old enough and I had, I was responsible in my own life.
Yep.
I was like, because that day is a crazy day when I feel like everybody goes to church.
Yep.
And I'm like, I don't need to be here for that. Bless them, bless the baptisms, but I don't need to be there for that.
Yeah, no, you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what's, you don't want to go outside
That's
of your
the day
comfort.
when all the saints go to church.
You don't want to go outside of your comfort bubble. You want to do what feels right and what works for you. So.
Yeah, so I kind of chill. Like, I let all the other saints have that day.
There you go. There you go. What what's on the horizon next week for Okara Banks when you get back to your home base?
Okara Banks has a pop-up shop that she has going on next weekend in LA.
And talk about that.
The pop-up shop, well, I often try to do my pop-up shops because my company is online. My clothing line, everything's sold online.
Right.
So what I found with the pop-up shops, it allows me a chance to engage. And I didn't realize how many people, who followed the brand as I've been putting it out there, like engaging. So it's nice to touch the customers and, pop up a few places. So it's been really successful for me. It's been really great. And I really want to take it on tour. I was talking to your team about coming back out here. When I do come back out, maybe I'll do a pop-up shop in Seattle.
I think that would be great. I think it would be great to do a pop-up shop in Seattle, but have the exclusive opportunity to debut it since we have cameras here in my studio.
Yeah, and maybe I'll bring a little bit of my podcast out, the Style Lounge, because there's conversation about me even taking that on tour. So we'll see.
And I've seen the success ratio, like you mentioned with these pop-up shops, whether it's in New York or Los Angeles or even Miami.
Great. They're like, oh my God, they're great.
I mean, it's the thing, just because people know that, based on, the depth of the brand, that, a lot of times things will sell out in a matter of moments.
Moments, yes. And it is called On The Go, so it only makes sense for the pop-up shop to go on the go for a little while. So yeah, I'll be doing that. There's some other talks of other things I have going on I can't speak of right now, but, my weeks go by very quick. I wake up, it's Monday, I close my eyes, it's Friday. And I'm like,
too.
Where did the 5 days go?
Me too.
Like 7 or whatever. Like, how did I know it was just Monday. It's like my days bleed.
Yep.
Completely into each other.
And compliment to you, Jason, who was on the show yesterday from the Hyde Children. He called me on my way home last night, and he said, man, whatever you could do, have Okara reach out to us when we're in Los Angeles. And he really enjoyed meeting you.
He was super cool. He's already emailed me. We text already this morning.
Good,
he's
good.
super cool. Yeah.
Jason and from the Hyde Children and his partner, I wish he could have been here yesterday, Jamal.
Yeah.
But next time they'll both be here and they'll
Thank you again for my gear. I'm going to I'm going to match it up with one of my swag jags for my clothing line. Probably this weekend or definitely by Monday. I love my t-shirt dress.
There you go. We also touched on yesterday. We touched on a little bit about obviously your brand and the whole styling campaign for being a designer. And earlier we touched on your TV work that you're currently working on in and out of Atlanta and some projects in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Any other things in addition to that? I know that there's some stuff in the works that we can't necessarily touch on.
There's work, I still get called to do a lot of my costume designing and styling, but I normally don't speak unless the deal memo's already signed.
Yeah.
And
that's a good way to be. That's definitely a good way to be.
So I talk on what I know I can control, which is the podcast right now. We've had some amazing people. Please go check it out. You can actually go to IG Style Lounge Podcast, and it's on iTunes at Style Lounge. It's on YouTube Style Lounge, and it's on SoundCloud at Style Lounge. So check it out. There's always going to be some cool things going on. I've been asked to be on more platforms. So right now we're taking a little hiatus from, Style Lounge. You can still look at those videos and still check us out.
Yep.
But you'll see me on other platforms with other people engaging. Just like I was on Terry Vaughn's call, I Look Better Naked.
Okay.
You can check that out. That was in Atlanta. That was 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And now I'm here with Dirty Harry. And Studio 110 Live.
Yep.
So what you will see me doing as I go is, as I do my pop-up shops, you'll probably find me on a couple of more podcast platforms or giving style tips on TV. I may be back in Atlanta really soon. It's just scheduling.
Yeah, I know, because I know you like Atlanta. I remember talking to you on the phone a couple weeks ago when you were, I think you were out there for your TV business.
Yeah.
And you were out there, I think one of your family members was out there too. So
Yeah, I have family there, and I have a couple of very dear friends, like very, very dear friends. So when I go to Atlanta, a lot of times I stop in Atlanta on my way to go see my mother in Charleston.
Yep.
So when I'm there, I do try to make at least 24 hours or 36 hours to see family if I can. There's
Yep.
sometimes I've run through there and don't see anybody.
There you go.
So,
There you go. And it's good that you make time though to see your family when you're on these business visits. When you know the priority is TV.
Or working, or I'm there with a client doing press junkets or, whatever the case may be. But I always try to squeeze it in. Or sometimes I've even had like one of my family members help me when I'm out of town.
Yep.
When I'm in Atlanta, I have an aunt who's rocked with me. She's been my assistant. She's learned how to do styling.
Yep.
When I first did Sister Circle, she was there helping me. So they count, and I have a cute little nephew down there that I have to make sure I see because he loves his auntie.
There you go. Is Brad ready to go, Erica?
Yeah.
Okay, I guess we're doing it via phone now, not in the studio. So I'll be curious to know why we have to do that. But if that's what we have to do, that's what we have to do. So before we get Brad on, hopefully that'll be in mere seconds. Is Brad ready to go?
Yes.
Okay. Brad, can you hear me okay? Can you hear me okay, Brad?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thanks for joining the show. My first choice, and believe me, you're not going anywhere. So next time we'll get you in the studio. But I understand that things come up, and we're going to do a phone interview today.
Sounds good.
How are things going?
Good. We just I wrapped up the New York Auto Show this week. I was out there for Tuesday and Wednesday for 2 unveils for Cadillac. It was a lot of fun.
Wonderful.
And then I was in Las Vegas for the weekend for our National Auto Dealers Convention, and we were nominated for Time Magazine Dealer of the Year. So I had a fun, really kind of honored weekend. It was great.
Wonderful. Let me introduce you, please, to my co-host. Her name is Okara Banks. She's flew up from Los Angeles, especially to join the show. She's a successful TV personality and fashion stylist and fashion designer. So, Brad Okara,
Awesome.
Okara Brad.
Hi, Brad. Nice
Hi,
talking
Okara.
to you.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. I wish I was in studio.
I
and
know.
I get some tips on some fashion.
Yeah, I wore my blue dress and all for you. Where are you, dude? What happened? I thought you was gonna bring in a gold Cadillac or something. We was gonna do a photo
right.
shoot
That's right.
afterwards. Hashtag Studio Live Studio 110.
Studio
Sorry.
110.
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
Now we're equal for the whole sunflowers and
Yeah,
sunflower.
we are equal.
Now we're equal
So,
on that.
I just knew I was going to take a picture by the car in my dress and my PRPS, but all right.
Yeah, she, pretty much Brad.
Dang it.
Pretty much Brad. What she was asking for was for Brotherton Cadillac to bring out 52 vehicles and turn your showroom into our showroom.
That's
and,
right.
Right. Yeah. Just
Man.
something simple to just throw it together.
Yeah.
Not just get a couple of your lot attendants to drive some of the new vehicles out here and tell the sales guys to take an extended lunch today on a Friday afternoon. So
That's right.
So Brad, I wanted to kind of get you onto the show. I want to unveil new levels of multiple arenas on the show, car talk and fashion and music and nightlife and newsworthy stories and everything. With that being said, so Cadillac has always been an iconic brand for many years. And you run and operate and own I would say, in my opinion, Cadillac's most successful #1 automotive dealership here in the Pacific Northwest called Brotherton Cadillac. So it's really it's an honor to have you on the program. I wanted to kind of kick it off here, and where's Cadillac currently, and where's Cadillac headed, moving from the 18s into the 19s.
Great. Well, thank you very much for having me on the show. It's an honor to be on. Cadillac and fashion go together. Being in New York this week, you really see where they're going after high design, unique looks, and really things that are signature Cadillac that draw from our historical DNA of the long vertical headlights, the the very distinct grille styling, the Cadillac shield, like the chevron symbol,
Yep.
for lack of a better term.
Yep.
In the seats, in a chrome accent itself, the way they use suede and other soft leather accents to bring out detail. I mean, they've really, I think they've taken a lot from fashion, or fashion maybe from them. Cadillac's really always been a leader in design, and I think you can see that in their interior detail, the way they fit and finish of the navigation systems, and how composite fibers mesh in, just different touch points. It's really they've really done an amazing, beautiful job at creating beauty in our cars.
And what are what big changes are we going to see evolving? Either body style changes or just inside interior and just all around looks and designs for the 19s.
For sure. So Escala was the car that came out as a halo vehicle. It's not physically out; it's a design vehicle that's like the ultimate of design. So if you look up Cadillac Escala, you'll see just a stunning Cadillac coupe, and they're taking those design cues from that car and bringing them in the product portfolio.
Okay.
As soon as they ran that commercial where they showed the Dare Greatly campaign, and they finished with the Escala, the very next morning my phone was blowing up. I want that car. I want that car. And we had to say it's not available. Actually, they just announced that they're going to build it. I saw that in GM Insider, probably by 2021. But the interior design of that car is going to be in the next gen CT6, which we will see in October. And you see a lot of the headlights and taillights and the way they use the logos and things like that. You see that in our current product offerings now.
And what I know this is a really tough question, Brad, because you've got multiple vehicles within the class of Cadillac. For your 18s going into 19s, like what's the one vehicle that you're really excited about to unveil to not only your dealership but to your fan base, because you definitely have a fan base for your dealership.
Oh, sure. So the Cadillac XT4, it's a new crossover that we're building, and it'll come out in October or November. It's smaller than our existing crossover, which is the XT5. That's the one they unveiled at Cadillac House on Tuesday night, and it's aggressive. It's got a great looking front end. It's like 97% of its own componentry and design work, so there's not a lot of shared stuff. It's uniquely Cadillac.
Okay.
And it truly looks like a Cadillac, but it's a small crossover, high fuel efficiency, high quality, easy to get around. It's probably the largest growing segment of automobiles that's coming or that exists right now. And Cadillac's never had an offer in there. So that's probably the one I'm most excited for, because we'll see a new customer. It's going to be customers that are going to be, it's like 80% conquest, meaning they own a Mazda or a Honda or Toyota or something a little more mainstream. And they say, I want to move up to luxury, but that entry point is so high that I can't. Well, this car creates the entry point that people can come into. So we're really excited for this one, just to expand our customer base and be able to offer the experience we offer to customers, on a greater volume.
On a price point that they can comfortably come in and
enjoy. Right. Yeah, this will be the lowest price point we've seen in a crossover ever. So
you guys, that's smart.
Yeah, we're really excited for it.
And I wanted to also ask you, because everybody kind of works with their own inner budgetary restrictions and
Sure.
and principles, and so just for everybody kind of listening out there, for people that want to get into a new Cadillac that might not have as large of a budget as some people, just kind of walk me through kind of the kind of the kickoff to your highest price point level models that you have at Brotherton.
Sure. So we start out with our ATS, which is our entry luxury sedan.
Okay.
And that car is the best value on the lot. When you think of its competitive set with Audi, Mercedes, BMW, Lexus, Jaguar, they overbuilt this car to really say, hey, look, Cadillac builds quality. And their whole mission going forward was to do this. And then what they did is they priced it such that was competitive or lower than the average price of all those other makes. And so, we do a lease. We typically lease that car because it's such a great lease payment for about $299 a month for the base model car, and then it obviously goes up depending on what you if you add certain things to it, whether it's all-wheel drive or the 3.6 liter V6 or things like that. So as it incrementally steps up per packaging, but the value, the residual value, the money factor, the down payment assistance is so aggressive that it makes that our sweet spot for entry into Cadillac. Then we have the XT5, and its base model starts at $349. Similar structure in the sense that it's a front-wheel drive vehicle. If you add all-wheel drive, if you add the panorama roof and the 20-inch wheels, it goes up commensurately to that. But it's a nice starting point at that $349. And then we get into our CTS sedan that pound for pound is probably the funnest driving car we have here. Really good weight displacement, good balance, good horsepower, and it's a really nice car. And that one we tend to do the larger discounts on. So it's in that $50,000 range. And then we go from there. We have the CT6, and Amy and I have that car. So my wife and I actually have that car personally, and it's the nicest driving Cadillac sedan I've ever driven.
Really?
There's very little road noise. There's very little road vibration. I mean, you really feel like you're driving a sturdy, well-built, beautifully designed car. And the thing I like about it is I always know where it is in the parking lot. The trunk doesn't look like other trunks. The headlights don't look like other headlights. I know that's my car, right?
Sure.
The wheels are mine, And so I love that about the Cadillac is so uniquely designed that it stands out. And you can get that car in a platinum, which would have the ultra suede. It's got very cool technology in the sense that it has a lane keep assist. So if I'm driving and I look down to grab a soda pop or whatever, and I veer, the car will self-correct and stay in the lane. If I'm going to cross the lane without a turn signal, it's going to buzz my seat to let me know that I'm about to leave the.
Oh, that's a cool feature.
That's a cool
feature.
Yeah. I had a question for you.
Yeah.
Being one of, probably the only one, I don't know, the largest, I guess, having the largest Cadillac dealership here.
It is, yes.
Yeah.
Brad Brotherton is on with us right now at Studio 110.live, who owns Brotherton Cadillac, who works with a lot of NFL players.
Yeah, and I was going to ask about that. Do you do any brand integrations sometimes with some of the athletes or, influence celebrities when they come in town? Do they call you to get a car, or do you do anything to drive any type of attraction? Because there's some dealerships that do that, and being that you have your own, I was wondering.
We do. Our brand is for our dealership is we have a philosophy of partnering with local organizations that profoundly impact the lives of the people in the Pacific Northwest. And so when we partner with a local celebrity or athlete, or we want to make sure that we align philanthropically. So, for example, Jacob Green, who's been a great friend for many years, we do a charity event together called Celebrity Stakeout, and it benefits the Hutch at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Research Center for breakthrough cancer research. But he gets in our cars, he talks about our cars. He owns an Escalade. It's a part of. He's a Cadillac owner, but we're also a part of this kind of changing the world with a philanthropic side of things. So he has his own event in July called the Jacob Green Golf Tournament, and he does a big golf tournament every year to raise money for immunotherapy research at the Hutch. So,
oh, that's what's up. You should come in during that time on studio. Come inside the studio and talk about that with us too. Like,
oh yeah,
if I'm
sure.
here, if they have me back, but yes.
We definitely will have you back. Okay.
Yeah, you should totally come in and talk about that more. But I was just wondering because, you know, in my world, you know, I have a lot of high-profile celebrity friends and clients. And I know, like, one of my clients, he's like the ambassador for Mercedes, and they gave him a Maybach. Or he has a deal where he got the Maybach because he always drove a Mercedes. And I was just wondering, sometimes that's with not just the corporation or the corporate side of Mercedes, but it can sometimes be with one of the, like yourself, larger Mercedes-Benz companies. And
so we've certainly done that. We certainly do it. GM has a very robust influencer program where they'll provide cars for a week, just as you said. And then we have our the friends of our company that we take care of when they come to town. And
okay, so you do take care of your friends when they come into town. That's where I was leading to. That's what I wanted to know. Okay.
So next time O'Kara Banks, Brad, comes to town.
That's what I wanted to find out.
We need to meet O'Kara at the airport.
Yes, that's right.
We'll have to get her in an Escalade with 22-inch rims and tinted windows and like whatever her favorite color is. So I don't think it should be too big of a deal to customize an Escalade.
Nothing too complicated when I come into town.
It's not too much to ask for. Like, when I fly in town, I just ask my friends, hey, can you pick me up in your Hyundai or your Toyota, whatever. And
no, you gotta come in style. Look, fashion and automotives and cars. That's the way.
That's how you gotta do it.
That's lifestyle. If you fly, you're fly. You're fly all the way through.
There you go. So if you're just tuning in right now, it's Studio 110.live. It's an honor to have my personal friend Brad Brotherton, who owns Brotherton Cadillac. You see their iconic TV commercials all over the major networks here, and in the proper placements, because Brad knows how he wants to highlight his dealership. I mean, Brad, just mention a few of the Seahawks players that you've had the opportunity to work with. Just some of the players that have shown their face in association with your dealership.
So we've done a lot of philanthropic work with like Sidney Rice, Red Bryant, Michael Bennett, of course, Cliff Averill. If we align well, we really do a nice job at helping co-brand events. Sidney's one of the most generous guys with his time in Seattle. He's, he came to our event this year and was just awesome. And, it's nice to have people wanting to give back and use their time, talent, and treasure to do so. Obviously we've got a lot of coaches in cars, and we've got, players that buy cars. So there's a lot of Cadillacs in that Seahawks parking lot, there's for sure.
What's the most expensive Cadillac vehicle that you've sold since you've taken over the pilot duties of Brotherton Cadillac?
I sold an Escalade ESV Platinum Edition. This car has massaging seats. It has a cruise control that will follow the car in front of it, so you don't have to ever touch the gas or the brakes. It just speeds up and slows down with traffic.
Wow.
It has suede everything. It's got heated and cooled cup holders. It's got a lunchbox in it that keeps things cool. It's got, I think, 4 TVs in it, or 5. And that was $106,000.
That's not bad for
not bad.
For that platinum version.
No.
So if you kind of do the math, you're looking at probably a monthly payment of about $245 a month for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's perfect for any road trip.
Yeah. There you go. And Brad, I would think another luxury that you have, and you don't seem like this is your style, but being the pilot of Brotherton Cadillac, is it your style that sometimes you'll walk in the dealership and say, I want to drive that one home tonight, or or in 3 days?
Do you do that? Do you use that luxury?
So it is funny. We will get like a CTS-V. So that the CTS-V is it looks like it's moving when it's sitting. It's so beautiful. It's 650 horsepower, 650 foot-pounds of torque. It's got carbon fiber you know when you see somebody dressed up beautifully, a woman, and she's got the earrings and the necklace, and it's just everything's just perfect.
Perfect.
That's this car. It's
see?
just
and see,
perfect.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
And so when this car comes off the truck, I kind of point at it and say, I think I get to put the test drive miles on that one.
That's nice.
Oh,
Brad,
yeah.
that's the one I want to be picked up in when I'm coming in again
go.
and at the airport.
Well, what's currently right now in the showroom at Brotherton Cadillac for people that are going to be making the trip out there maybe Saturday or Easter Sunday to treat themselves to a little gift, right?
Actually, we'll be closed on Easter Sunday. We do that for our families here. So
Okay.
We've never been open on an Easter Sunday that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But we do have a red ATS on the showroom floor, which would be in that $299 deal. We have a new XT5 on the showroom floor. We built a stealth edition, for lack of a better word, Escalade. So it's got a blackout wheels, blacked out grille, cool window tint. We also have the new Buick Tour X, which is our new station wagon that Buick's making. And we actually have a stand-up paddleboard on it right now. So if you buy one of those, we're going to give you a stand-up paddleboard. And we've got a Buick Regal on the showroom floor, the new Buick Regal GS on the showroom floor, a GMC Acadia and a GMC Terrain. So it's a big showroom. It's got two sides to it. So on the right side is Cadillac, or as you walk in, it's on the left. And then on the other side is Buick and GMC. So it's quite a large showroom.
There you go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, if I decide to stay longer, I might have to run by there as part of my field trip to Seattle.
There you go. How long are you in town for?
Well, I'm actually slotted to leave a few hours after the show ends. I know, but we'll see. Like I said,
They're trying to convince you to stay longer, though.
They've been doing a really great job trying to convince me to stay just one more day.
I feel like they need to throw you just a private party event tonight, just if you stay back, right? I mean, just for O'Kara Banks.
Oh my God! But the only thing is, the person who got me here. He will not be able to attend the party.
I will not. Unfortunately, no, I will not. I have other, Brad, sometimes, you just have other logistics to handle when you get off the air. And,
well, family first. So it's a good pass.
So, but O'Kara's only 2.5 hours away. LAX to SeaTac is just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Easy.
So we'll see. There's other people in the office. They're working on something.
Yeah, we got the whole team here trying to keep O'Kara back here. So, Brad, what would you say is the one thing that makes you the most, excited to, because you've got parts, you've got service, you've got sales, you've got management. And out of all the realms of you, being an owner of such a respected, well-renowned dealership here in the state, what's the one thing that gets you the most excited, during the day or during the week to embrace upon?
I tell you, the funnest part is when somebody buys a new car. It
The
never
funnest
gets
and the
old for
coolest.
me. It never gets old for me, and I've sold thousands. And I love the excitement people have when they get their new car, because even if it's a used car, it's still new to them, right? This is something new and exciting, and it's the second or largest purchase people make. So, I love when people love their new cars, and I love to see that.
Because you know what that
really,
feeling's like. You're like, oh, they just got a really good car.
Yeah, and I geek out over it. I don't get to do it, right? I get to point at a car off a truck and say, I want to drive that one home tonight.
Exactly.
But people are so excited. There's a story in why they're here. There's you learn about my final son or final daughter just graduated from college, so we've given ourselves this money or this raise to come out and treat ourselves nicely. Or I've just retired and I want to treat myself with a present. Or
you just accomplished something really big, and you go and I'm going to go buy me a car.
Yeah, or I saved up every day so that I could come pay cash for this thing. I mean, it's really, it's the best part is the story and getting to watch people get their new car and just be in such a place of joy. I mean, there's very, 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 very few times that in my 20 years that I've ever had somebody upset when they leave with a brand new car. I mean, it's I don't know, it'd be like working where babies are born, you know. It's just everybody's happy.
That's a good analogy.
Well, there you go, Brad. And you know, it's been truly an honor to. I know how busy you are, and I know I know we had to do some finagling to get you on the show, and I hopefully next time you'll have the opportunity to be in the studio. I'd like to keep this.
Your studio is amazing. I mean,
thank you.
Come on, why aren't I there sitting on that deck? I mean,
you know. Absolutely.
The best view in Bellevue.
It is a gorgeous view in Bellevue.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And the shopping is right at your fingertips.
And shout out to my engineers. Shout out to my engineers who built this studio for me, Buzz and Greg. I know they're always listening. It was a lot of work to get this beautiful studio built here for my new show. Brad, with that being said, I definitely want to get you in the studio next time you're here, and I want to turn this into a car segment where I think there's multiple things that we can do, like we did back in the day at the radio station. Maybe we can talk about a mini car endorsement like we talked about in the past, and some kind of fun promotions that we can connect Studio 110 and Brotherton Cadillac. I think it'd be fun to do that together.
I think so, great. I think so as well. I think there's a thirst for knowledge, and people really like to learn new things and learn new ways to do things. And I'm always happy to talk about the car business. So if people find it valuable, I'm happy to talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And my buddy Zach, who was on the show a couple days ago, I know I'm very punctual when it comes time to on air, and I know 2:30 you got to get to something. But shout out to Zach from Z-Wing. Z-Wing, he's got an elaborate car rally coming up that you can find the info on our social networking at studio110.live on our Instagram. But not to add anything else to your plate, Brad, but at some point I'd like to introduce you to Zach, because he really does some cool things for the automotive business industry. He's doing this amazing thing with W Hotels and Michael Jordan's restaurant down in Oregon. It's a whole road trip that starts at Alki and ends ultimately down in Seaside, Oregon. There's Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Cadillacs. So I think it would be a good connection for you to meet Zach.
For sure, and if I showed up in a CTSV, I'd be right in good company. That'd be great.
There you go. Well, I wish you and your family a very happy Easter, Brad. And
have a wonderful Easter, Brad. And I hope to meet you next time. And if not meet you, I'll meet somebody that works over at your company at the airport next time.
or probably downstairs here at Studio 110's headquarters.
Again, in something beautiful and shiny as we go and have dinner or something. Anyhow, but it was lovely talking to you, getting to know you, and I'm sure I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Happy Easter.
As well.
And it was great to have you on, and thank you for joining us. And I know we had till 2:30, and hopefully you have a smile on your face, because my clocks are showing 2:28. So we wrapped it up 2 minutes early for you. So
all right.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you. We'll talk soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. That was Brad Brotherton, who just joined the show via phone from Brotherton Cadillac, a very well-renowned Cadillac dealership, O'Hara, up here in the Pacific Northwest. He moves a lot of volume. I've known Brad for a number of years. We did a bunch of business together at the former radio station. He's not like, how you have kind of that mindset of a typical car guy. You know how they put pressure on you and
sell you something.
They sell you something.
Yeah.
Brad is completely polarizing opposite from the image that people would have from a traditional car guy.
Wow.
So hopefully next time you're up here, that'll happen, where they'll get you one of those 900 horsepower vehicles.
Yeah.
And you won't get pulled over by the cops and get a ticket.
I promise I won't. I'll cruise my way all throughout the city.
There you go. So what's been your highlight? I mean, you landed here early yesterday. You were on the air yesterday. You've been on the air with me today here at Studio 110.live. And I know probably is a tough question to ask, but if you had to just kind of narrow it, because we're not going in, we still have a half hour, but it's just up to this point, what's been your most exciting moment since you've touched down here in Seattle? I
don't know. Well, I will say the studio, you guys, is impeccable.
Thank you.
What you guys have built here, when I first walked in, I was like, still when I walk in the door, when we come back to the office or the studio, it's incredible. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The view is incredible. And, I'm sure I can't say what's the highlight, because I don't know. The highlight may be tonight if I stay. So.
Of course she's going to say that, because I'm not going to be part of it. So she's going to.
And maybe tonight because I'm not here, but I have to say this beautiful penthouse has been a wonderful highlight to walk into every day.
Yep.
Or, to hang out and just a good time. I feel like a party can pop off at any moment.
There you go.
I feel like a cruise, it's perfect. Like this was I really have to say the location and coming here was like, wow.
Well, I figured it was good to make this. I mean, this was originally my office, and then when we built the studio out, it was kind of my office/studio. So I primarily just use it now for the studio, and the office is over there.
And then the offices and the view.
Right.
I mean, I have this constant view that is like incredible, and it makes me want to take a nap.
I thought you were going to say it's going to make you homesick when you get back to LA. You're going to
won't make me homesick.
Wake up at 3 a.m. and say like, I can't see Mount Rainier.
I can't see this clear sky that you guys have because we don't have clear skies all the time in Los Angeles. We have palm trees and we have smog.
And you have oceans and you have
But your water's like right there.
It is. It's right over there to the left. And it's actually right behind you.
Exactly. Like I'm constantly getting this view, so I have to say that has to be the number one thing for me that's been like a highlight to constantly everywhere I turn, I see this beautiful view.
Yep. And I figured, like I was about to say a little while ago, and I was going to actually mention this to Brad too, because it relates to cars, is if I wanted to do a live traffic report here on 405 going either direction,
I can actually do that.
I can actually do traffic reports here from the studio, and I can also do weather because I can see Seattle from here. And I can see Renton, and I can see multiple cities from my vantage point here in the studio. So I could talk about like upcoming weather patterns. Not that I'm an expert in weather. I'm far from it. All I really know is when I go outside. So
don't hold him to the weather he may report, you guys. But he will try.
Go to like Como or
maybe with the traffic you may have a better chance. But the weather.
There you go. I wanted to transition now into, we talked about this earlier when we signed on today at Studio110.live. Follow us on our Instagram at Studio110.live. So let's do some music news stories here. Mm-hmm. I'll report here and then we'll chat about it. So Young Money's Nicki Minaj and Ariana Grande are receiving some unexpected negative press. A musician has targeted both high-profile entertainers for allegedly going the dirty route for their side-to-side collaboration. According to Texas artist Christopher R. O'Connor, someone from UMG Recordings hooked Grande and Nicki up by jacking his J5 T6 song without permission. Now I know on the radio side, I know that if you play a song without the label or management's position,
leaking.
It's called a see and assist.
Oh,
it's called the see and assist, and
that's the other thing it's called.
Yeah, and the record labels, their lawyers will send out notices saying that you either stop playing the record or you're going to be approaching into a lawsuit.
So what are they? Are they trying to sue them, or they're trying to sue them?
So O'Connor tells TMZ. He reached out to UMG about the alleged copyright violation and was instructed to send in a demo, but the company didn't address his accusation of song stealing. O'Connor also tells us he believes UMG has found some more of his songs online and used them to produce other copies by artists like Mike Shinoda and Taylor Swift. He's suing UMG, not Grande or Minaj, asking for royalties from Side to Side, which currently has over 1 billion views on YouTube, and a songwriting credit. That's what TMZ just came out with and reported a few minutes ago. So, what's your take on that? I mean, I like Nicki Minaj. I really do.
Well, Nicki Minaj and Ariana Grande have done work together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not sure what the ploy is. My brain goes into so many different places when it comes to, leaking, or was this a strategic plot to happen so that this lawsuit can happen, or is this just to generate more sales? You know what I mean?
Well, what it is Texas artist Christopher O'Connor sees the success behind Nicki and Ariana and the song that they introduced
because they leak so many,
right?
So
and,
much
and
music.
he wants his credit on it.
So I feel like so it's more about credit. So he's going through what a lot of people go through,
right?
But I mean, if they leak the song and it's hot, what'll end up eventually happen is they'll settle out of court. He'll get some money, but they'll still have their success. And oh well, bada boom, bada bang.
So if you were managing, and this is, this might be a hard.
And I don't mean that's okay, guys. I just feel like that's just what they do. Like, I'll deal with the repercussions later. Let's make this money now.
If you were Christopher O'Connor's management, O'Kara, how would you have gone about it? Would you have taken the road that they're taking ultimately to TMZ? to have reported out on this international level, or would you have taken a different approach with it?
Well, it just depends on how he feel like how they feel like they're going to be heard and
Yep.
they're going to get the most results.
Yep.
So why, TMZ is the way.
Yep.
Going viral is the way if you really want to highlight yourself.
Yep.
Shed light, and create a name, talk about the issue, let people know what you created. TMZ is the way. Like, what all do people really want when they go that public?
Right.
Because you can always do things a different route.
Right.
But when going viral, there's no hiding that.
Yep.
It brings in everybody's opinion, thoughts, and it also, now the person we didn't know, everyone knows.
Yep.
So I always wonder, what is the reason sometimes when people go public when they have a decision to make?
Yep. And
I just think there's, a sweet, beautiful agenda that some people don't mind, riding the wave for. So when this time blow past, people can remember that I wanted my credit and I'm the person who did it, and hopefully it'll generate someone else calling them for something.
And another artist also thank you. And another artist in music news today who I do like. I like Tyga. Tyga was at a few of the previous Summer Jam concerts on stage with me and the crew out there at Gorge there. Unfortunately, not good news for Tyga. Tyga and his son might unfortunately lose their home. Never a good day. Never a good day if you're
Tyga may lose his home?
Yeah, Tyga.
Well, what is he doing though right now?
Well, they're saying Tyga might want to fall back on buying a new car and get his other priorities straight. New reports are claiming the hip-hop star is on the verge of getting evicted from his California dream home. According to reports, Tyga is a few months behind in his rent payments. This particular guy who represents, I believe, Simon Cowell's crew said that he once set on marrying someone in Tyga's camp. I don't know how that really came up in conversation. Is also adding to the story, saying that he has a super cool house in Beverly Hills and that she rented it to him for $40K a month. Tyga moved in March of 2017 and paid rent for a while until he didn't. And then this gal's claiming that the rent check stopped in January and he's made no effort to catch up. She's suing to evict Tyga and get all of his back rent. It's interesting, though, because one of the defendants in Tyga's son, I believe is called King Cairo, because Tyga put the kid's name on the lease. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think that was really the appropriate way to put your kid on the lease. I don't think.
Wow, it's very much the hood way.
That's the hood way, and that's not the appropriate.
That is not the appropriate way.
That's not the appropriate way.
That's not something you have to do now.
No.
So it's King. Well, I have many questions.
Okay, I'm just going to finish here because Tyga put his kid's name on the lease. The child is listed as other defendants in the body of the lawsuit. Also coming to us here right now from TMZ about 6 minutes ago. So
wow.
This is definitely a new story coming right now into music news. And I'm going to be doing these every day. I love talking about these types of stories, whether they're bad or good.
That sucks
but
for
Tyga,
him.
man, Tyga.
Because Tyga has a store called King. Is it King Cairo or King? I can't think of the name. On Melrose. I'm not sure if it's still open. But he had a clothing store.
Okay.
Right on Melrose, not far from La Brea. So my question is, Tyga, I'm really hoping that King Cairo is the name of your corporation. It just happens to be your son's name, and TMZ doesn't know that. You know how you try to put a spin on something like it's called King Cairo Incorporation.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks because now his son. How old is his son, King?
They're not reporting his
He's
age.
like a baby. He's like 5 or something.
I mean, 5 or 10 or whatever. You still don't put your son's name.
So you don't put your no. I'm not saying it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping it's a corporation.
I hope so too.
And they don't. And he's not really using his son's name. So that's me putting out the silver lining.
Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, what has Tyga been doing? I mean, and the other thing is when people stop, when some celebrities stop making payments on their lease or rent, they do it knowing that they can't be kicked out immediately.
Yep.
So it's not even that he may not have the money. It may be that he don't want to spend no more money there because he has to tighten up his money.
Sure.
So he knows it buys him another 3 months of not really having to pay any rent now. So she has a tenant that until this all blows over, he can stay there until then.
Or you could have a different mindset, like you're saying, as well on it, is maybe less on the cars, less on the jewelry, less on the...
And I don't know how much of that is real and he's paying.
And on the flashy kind of lifestyle effect of the music business, and focus more on just your priorities, like your son, and especially if you have a family.
Absolutely. But I think, I'm just thinking right now, what he's doing is, and you know, celebrities have done it before. Before they move out, they just kind of go with the wave of, they can't kick me out. If he's been there over a year, he knows his rights. That's why she said it doesn't seem like he's trying to make an effort to pay for it.
And hopefully,
because he knows that she can't just kick him out. Now, on the responsible hand, you know, just downsize, man.
Sometimes, as artists, sometimes...
And go on tour.
And go on tour and...
Call Jamie.
Call Jamie.
Call Jamie, and Jamie's the man, and let him take you on tour.
And you're friends with Jamie, so you could.
Jamie Adler.
There you go.
Your guy.
Well, I didn't know which Jamie you're talking about.
No, I'm talking about Jamie Adler.
Oh, okay.
No. He's call Jamie and Blaine.
There you go. Well, we're going to talk about one more story today. Chris Brown is back in music news.
I love Chris.
He usually is. Sometimes, hopefully, always for the better. But unfortunately, today, Chris Brown was responding to everyone thinking he really choked out his girlfriend. He says, no foul play, no ignorant, SH_T, end of discussion. He's
which one, the new one?
I don't actually have her, the girl's name. I'm referring to probably, I'm guessing
There's a new girl, I think she's a singer he's been dating. She's saying he choked her out?
That's what he's saying. He's saying that Chris Brown isn't here for the fake news. He stepped forward to address pictures of himself looking like he's choking a woman. He went on his Instagram earlier today to address the situation. He says, thanks for all the publicity today. Y'all know damn well I ain't going down that road anymore.
I don't think he choked her.
No.
I think they have, unfortunately, because I've been around Chris Brown. Chris Brown is really nice.
He is a great guy.
Like his energy is really sweet. I think they just target him so much that they've made him become defensive. And since he was 19, since what happened, we live in a society where people don't want you to forget anything. And look, I don't agree with any type of domestic violence or hitting or anything like that, but I just think it happened. There were lessons that were learned. I don't think he's going around hitting women. It's just I feel like they have wanted to paint him as just this out of control human being. And I think what they have done is target him so much as a young boy. Just imagine from 20 to now, I don't even think Chris Brown is 30. They've targeted him so it can the media can kind of make you seem out of control.
Yep.
And when you feel like you constantly have to defend yourself.
Yep.
So I don't know. I don't know. I just don't see he's going around choking people. But
hopefully not.
I hope it didn't happen. I'm a Chris Brown fan. I hope it didn't happen. Like, I don't know. Like, there's so many things happening right now between men and women you don't want to believe, and then some things you're surprised about.
And he continued on to on his Instagram earlier by saying, thanks for all the publicity today. Y'all know damn well I ain't going down that road. There's no need to even defend myself on the matter. Everyone that's around, girl, guy, are my homies. No foul play, no ignorant blank. End of discussion.
And if he's sounding that confident and he's very vocal about his truth, I think, when we couldn't get the truth is when he was quiet.
Right.
But I feel like now that he's past that, he tells his own truth, his own story. And I just, I hope it wasn't foul play on anyone or someone to, create a story, because a lot of that is happening. Oh, yeah. And now it raises the question, what is true? Mm-hmm. Because look, you don't want to play with someone's life.
No.
Or livelihood.
No.
So that you can get publicity. And look, was the story created?
Mm-hmm. Especially with false accusations.
Without her permission.
Right.
So look, there might be two people who might be, like you said, thanks for the publicity, that didn't happen. Like, is this someone just creating a story?
Well, hopefully that is the case in terms of the sense of Chris Brown, like you just said, going the road that he's going to sound like, coming forward. Like there's nothing to be concerned about.
There's nothing to be concerned about. What you're talking about is just not true. And so, we have to lean on that and also see what happens.
There you
go.
And
hopefully she comes out and can say what the truth is, because if we haven't heard, have we heard from the woman? Is this coming from her, or is this coming from rumors?
Well, I'm going to make sure that the crew here at Studio 110 that we have the latest on this story for Monday's show at 1 o'clock, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday, and we'll get we'll make sure
it could be a big fat just made up.
But you know, at least I had the opportunity here. At least I had the opportunity to break. I like to break these stories.
Yeah,
though.
It's good to put them out there and have the conversation. You know, again, domestic violence. No. I mean, I've had family members who've dealt with that. So no,
it's not a pretty day.
So let's not. You know, my thing is, we don't want to make up rumors about anyone being choke hit or anything.
No, that's not funny.
We don't need to put that out there when at the time, and during, especially in the time that we're in,
absolutely,
where women's voices are being heard, and there's some people who really are dealing with their butts being beaten and trying to figure out how to get out, like, or hit or choke or an uncomfortable situation. Please do not create lies, rumors, or play with that.
There you go. And you know, speaking of that, someone who I've always respected in Chris Brown's camp is his mother, Joyce. Joyce is a wonderful woman who's I know having a lot of she's handling a lot of his management day-to-day activities. Joyce, she's a wonderful woman. I've done business with her in the past, and I'll never forget the first day I met Chris. He was a kid, and he was in the studio, and he was on his skateboard, and he asked me when we were live on the air, could he be standing on his skateboard and talking on the air at the same time? And I said, well, you know, that would be a first for me. But you know, he managed to pull it off, to be standing on his skateboard, leaning over the console at the studio that we were broadcasting from.
That's good core muscles.
That is good core muscles. So you know, shout out
to Chris Brown and Chris Brown's mom, and you know, and hopefully this will pass over.
Hopefully it'll pass over, and
all good light.
And all good light for all the artists. I wish Tyga the best in that situation, and Chris Brown.
Yeah, come on, man.
And hopefully this artist out of Texas, you know, hopefully he's got good enough lawyers that might say, you know what, you know, let's probably end this now before we get too deep into this hot water, because I know for a fact Ariana Grande and Nicki Minaj, that their legal teams are pretty deep.
Oh, this is.
Don't even get you started on it.
Yeah, that, I mean, look, again, I believe if there's someone that, you know, the music industry is known to take, steal, leak, do some not cool things.
Swallow a lot of people, too.
Swallow a lot of people. So, look, he's using the best platform to get it out there. I get it. My thing is, you wanna make an impact and make noise? Go to TMZ.
There you go. And
I mean, they go to TMZ, but you know, just like, for instance, the whole Blurred Line song that I love. Yep. Do you know that the family, the estate of, what's the musician?
Robin Thicke?
Yeah, Robin Thicke and Pharrell have to pay $5.3 million to the family for that song, for using that song.
Yeah. So that's a true testament of what can happen.
Oh yeah. So I mean, I'm nowhere saying let someone ride you, but how many years ago did Blurred Lines come out?
I played Blurred Lines by Robin Thicke. It was about...
still one of my favorite songs, but...
It's about 4 years ago.
So, yeah. And it still feels very relevant when you do play it. So, they just was awarded $5.3 million. Yeah, and T.I. didn't... Because he just came on and did a verse. He wasn't affected by it. But, yeah. So, look...
Look, I mean,
fight your fight if it's not right.
There you go. I want to shout out and thank Brad Brotherton again. I'm sure he's got the show on at his executive office suite there at Brad Brotherton for joining the show this afternoon. It was good. It was good to do that.
Today was a good day. Yeah. Well, you know what? For me, you know, coming always from a fashion and stylist kind of know standpoint. I love talking to people who have big car dealerships like that, because what you don't know is, like, Toyota sponsored one of my fashion presentation events. So, you know, even though I was being funny, I really would like to meet him, you know, because of style. When you think of style, luxury and style, you know, riding on the road in style, it brings you back to cars.
There you go.
So, you know, it was... I really wish I had met him and he came in. I really would like to see, you know, his studio. But that's part of the wave of the culture. Like, we always like cars, but it's different now. There's Mercedes-Benz who would do Fashion Week. Lexus that does Fashion Week in New York. So cars and fashion and it's all part of lifestyle and grooving and how you move through your life. It's kind of like last night when we were out and we were looking at the cars and, you know, one of our wonderful friends, we were talking about in the elevator about how a Maserati rides.
Yeah.
And how smooth it is.
Yep.
You know, and you know, the difference between we were discussing Tesla, Mercedes, you know, the way a car feels, Maseratis. And that's part of lifestyle.
It is. It is.
You know, it's part of what you want. So, you know, I thought it would be great. It was a great conversation.
Well, I can only imagine that.
We need to do something with Brad, though.
Yeah. I can only imagine that the only thing that would have kept him from not showing up to the studio today to join the show was maybe he's got someone in his office. And look, you know, business business comes first for a guy that's owning a car dealership. But maybe there's a hot ticket right now on the line where he's getting ready to sell an Escalade at $115,000, and that I would, you know, if I was Brad, I would do that first, you know.
Or they could be getting in a new shipment for spring, you know, the new hot addition, you know. You never know.
You never know. You never know what can happen. Kara, I want to thank you again for flying up here and joining me on the air and kicking off my brand new show.
Yeah,
here at Studio 110.
It's a great show. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is a lot of work. You got a rockin' producer, Erica.
I do.
She works really hard.
She works really hard behind the scenes.
You have a great machine of a team.
Thank you.
Shout out to, you know,
Cristiano.
Shout out to
Aaron. And Ryan.
I haven't met Aaron and Ryan yet.
And Pierre and Julianne. There's a whole crew here. People don't realize how big this thing really is.
And they're really about it. They're really, really, really about.
And Jen and everybody that, you know, we have multiple floors here. That's how big Studio 110 Live is.
It's so big here. I haven't even been on the other floor yet.
And you haven't even met everybody because they're so busy in their offices working for this show to make this show as vibrant as it needs to be.
I've been literally missing people, and we've been like next door to each other, like for hours. And they're like, "So when did you get here?" I was like, "I was here yesterday. Where have you been?" Well, I was here. Like we were next door that whole time. I should have just knocked on the wall.
Yep. That's what you got to do.
So no, congratulations to everything.
Thank you.
And the machine and, you know, the presentation and, you know, some wonderful things coming up for you with the podcast. And, you know, I only know it's the beginning and I'm excited to see what happens in the next 2 weeks.
And I'm excited to thank you. And a lot of things will be happening. I'm excited to, you know, maybe it'll have to be on a weekend, but fly down to you and and co-host with you like you did for me.
Yeah, absolutely. The difference is between my podcast and yours is that I'm a little bit more of a tight niche. So we'll go in and then we got to figure out what to do with the rest of our day. Like go to D Square.
Or
Dita.
Yeah.
Or, you know, go to the Jordan, showroom.
Or Zara.
Or maybe the Jordan showroom.
Or PRPS.
Or PRPS. Well, they're in New York, so they don't have
they don't have a store in LA?
Everything I do, everything is emails and online.
Okay.
Yeah. Or they send me line sheets. A lot of companies will send me line sheets of what they have before it comes out.
Well, I don't think you'd have to worry about that with me because, you know, someone that's been on the air for, you know, over 20 years. I mean, I could talk. So, like, if your show is an hour, we'll go for an hour and, you know.
Well, it might be a special interview. It normally goes about 30 minutes, a little longer, but I think we can get a smashing hour out really quick.
I do too. So it'll be an honor to fly down like you did for me to Los Angeles and get some vitamin D. I mean, God only knows I could use
that
it.
Vitamin D so you can bring back that happy here.
My doctor always tells me, my doctor always says, you know, you're checking out, thank God, fine, but you could use a little bit more vitamin D.
You need to go. It's time for a vacation.
It's time for a little bit. Well, I'm not going to take any vacations anytime soon.
Maybe a weekend vacation to Mexico and just get you some sun.
Yeah. Maybe.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mexico.
Mexico.
Did I say it right?
You did. Did I say it right? Yeah.
Well, I just asked Erica. I want to make sure I pronounced it properly.
She would be the final answer for the proper pronunciation for that.
That's right.
So I want to thank you again, Okara.
Absolutely.
Okara Banks. It's been an honor to have you as the co-pilot here on the show for the last 2 days with me, and I hope you can get back up here again soon with us. Shouting out to all your family and all your friends listening all over the country.
And everyone, please check out my podcast, Style Lounge, on iTunes, SoundCloud, and on YouTube, Style Lounge. And you can also check out Style Lounge at Style Lounge Podcast on Instagram and at Style Lounge Pod on Twitter. And you can follow me at Okera Banks across the board.
There you go.
All right. And check out my clothing line, OTG Essentials, OTGessentials.com.
And nothing but continued success for you. I hope the pop-up shop is more successful than what Supreme did down there.
All right.
So,
yeah. I received that.
Yep. And I'm sure my crew here, with me not being in the flight deck here for the next couple hours, I'm sure I know you're in good hands.
I'll be in great hands. Don't even worry.
I'll check in if I can check in just to make sure Okera's being taken care of.
Yes, so that's right. But they got you.
And shouting out all my friends all over the country. My buddy Daniel, listening to the show right now in one city down there. I'm not even sure what city it is. It's I'm not familiar with it, but it's in the state of Nevada. So shout out to you, and shout out to my buddy Eli, actually in Houston. And there's so many people to shout out, but I'm not going to forget anybody. So I wish you all a wonderful weekend. If you're celebrating, the holiday Passover or Easter or whatever you're celebrating, whatever you're doing, if it's your anniversary or if you're maybe going out on your first date tonight or, whatever you're doing, I want you to have a good, successful, happy, wonderful weekend.
And safe weekend.
Safe weekend and a safe travels back to you,
Thank
Okera.
you. I
back to Los Angeles. And we'll be back at you. Follow us on Instagram, studio110.live. We'll be back with you Monday. Can't wait. Monday, 1 o'clock. I know we got some exciting guests, big guests next week. It'll be hard to fill that spot, Okera. But
thank you.
But we will we'll continue to erupt and make a lot of disturbing noises around people's cameras and speakers wherever you're watching the show here come Monday. Have a good weekend, y'all. I'll see you. I'll talk to you Monday, 1 o'clock, studio110.live. Good night, y'all.